Tired of trying to seem strong all the time? What if I told you that the biggest mistake your competitors, your rivals make, could be precisely underestimating you? You strive, you dedicate yourself, but you feel that invisible stab of underestimation. Your ideas are ignored in meetings. Your ambitions are met with a condescending smile. You are constantly overlooked for those who display a superficial, louder strength. It's like fighting a fog. You know the obstacle is there, undermining your progress, your confidence, your ascent, but it's hard to pinpoint and combat directly. You feel your true potential is being suffocated, not for lack of ability, but by the limited perception others have of you. In the next few minutes, I will reveal how to transform this frustration, this pain of underestimation, into your most powerful secret weapon. You will learn the Machiavellian art of using the perception of weakness to your advantage, operating under the radar, gathering crucial information, and delivering precise blows when no one expects it. Forget the need to prove your strength at every moment. What I am going to show you is how true strength lies in controlling perception. Niccolò Machiavelli, in his timeless work, The Prince, preached not naivety, but cunning. He understood that for a ruler, perception is reality, and that at times being the roaring lion is less effective than being the silent fox who knows the traps. Let's delve into a principle that the powerful have used for centuries, but few dare to admit. This constant underestimation isn't just annoying, it has real costs. Lost opportunities, promotions that go to the more visible colleague, projects handed to those who seem more capable even if they aren't. You find yourself trapped in a cycle of having to work twice as hard to receive half the recognition. This leads to burnout, resentment, and worse, the internalization of this false image of inadequacy. You begin to doubt yourself, not because you lack competence, but because the world insists on not seeing it. Why does this happen? Society worships the spectacle of strength. We value the extroverted alpha, the explicit demonstration of confidence. But there's a deeper reason. People feel comfortable around you if they don't perceive you as a threat. Underestimating you is their way of maintaining their own status quo, their own comfort zone. They don't want to be challenged by an unexpected competitor. Your apparent weakness is for them a guarantee of security. And what do they tell you? Be more assertive. Project confidence. Fake it till you make it. These are superficial solutions. Constantly trying to seem strong can be exhausting, and worse, can sound false, desperate, attracting even more scrutiny and resistance. If you're not naturally expansive, forcing this persona can undermine your authenticity and put you in a game that isn't yours. The conventional approach tells you to confront the perception of weakness head-on, like a bull. The Machiavellian approach teaches you to use it as a cloak. This is where Machiavelli's genius comes into play. What if, instead of fighting underestimation, you strategically cultivated it? What if the perception that you are harmless was in fact your most fertile hunting ground? Prepare yourself, because we are going to subvert the common logic of power. The central Machiavellian principle here is the perception paradox. In a world obsessed with demonstrations of power, constantly being seen as a threat or a fierce competitor is paradoxically a disadvantage. It generates resistance, envy, sabotage. People raise defenses, hide information, prepare for combat. In contrast, being underestimated, being seen as less capable, less ambitious, or even a bit naive, causes others' defenses to crumble. Being underestimated isn't a sentence, it's a disguised opportunity. Machiavelli advised princes to be like the centaur Chiron, half man, half beast. To know how to use both law and force, both the cunning of the fox to recognize traps and the strength of the lion to scare away wolves. But he emphasized that the fox often triumphs where the lion fails. Many leaders throughout history, from generals to statesmen, feigned modesty or even incompetence to observe their enemies, gain their trust, and attack at the most unexpected moment. Today in the corporate battlefield, in negotiations, in complex social dynamics, this principle is pure gold. While everyone is busy puffing out their chests, the Machiavellian strategist observes, learns, and moves in the shadows of low expectation. Think of the colleague who seems quiet and unassuming, but who suddenly presents the brilliant solution no one saw. They weren't sleeping, they were calculating, free from the pressure of scrutiny that the brilliant ones usually attract. Imagine a complex negotiation. On one side, an aggressive negotiator, imposing their conditions from the start. On the other, someone who appears humble, asks seemingly simple questions, admits to not understanding certain points. The first creates tension, the second invites explanation, openness. Who do you think will obtain more information, more voluntary concessions? The one who seems to offer no danger is the one who effectively disarms the opponent. Our first practical strategy is the art of playing the fool, or if you prefer, feigned humility. It's not about actually being a fool, but about appearing to be one strategically. It's the art of deliberately downplaying your own abilities, intelligence, or ambitions at specific moments to disarm others. Why does this work? First, it drastically reduces others' defensive posture. No one feels threatened by someone who seems harmless or even a bit lost. Second, people love to feel superior. By playing the fool, you inflate their egos, and inflated egos become careless, talkative. They might reveal crucial information, underestimate your intentions, and lower their guard. Third, it creates a powerful contrast. When you finally demonstrate your competence, the impact is much greater because it was unexpected. How to apply this? Ask naive questions. Could you explain that to me again as if I were 5 years old? This not only extracts information, but also assesses the other's patience and knowledge. Attribute ideas to others. So-and-so had a great idea, even if the seed was yours. This generates goodwill and makes others want to collaborate. Downplay your achievements. If praised, deflect with modesty. Oh, it was luck, or I had a lot of help. This avoids arousing premature envy. Use strategic silence. Let others fill the void. Often they will reveal more than they intended, simply out of discomfort with the silence of someone who seems not to understand. Be careful. Don't overdo it to the point of being seen as genuinely incompetent and thus losing real opportunities. The goal is not to get fired, it's to be strategically underestimated. Don't lose your self-respect in the process. Remember, it's a calculated performance, not your true identity. And crucially, know when to stop playing the fool and show your true cards. It's a matter of timing. The second strategy is to identify and operate in the zone of underestimation. Not every situation calls for false weakness. Discernment is needed to know when to tactically retreat, when to present yourself as less than you are to gain a future advantage. It's about choosing your battles and, more importantly, choosing how you are perceived in them. This works because it conserves your energy and resources. Fighting every battle with full force is exhausting and makes you predictable. By operating in the zone of underestimation, you become an invisible observer. People act more naturally around you, revealing their true intentions, alliances, weaknesses, because they don't see you as a relevant player to be feared or deceived. You passively gather intelligence. How to apply this? In new environments. When entering a new job, social group, or project, resist the temptation to impress immediately. Observe first. Let them underestimate you a bit. Use this time to map the terrain, identify the true centers of power and hidden dynamics. When facing opponents who are initially declaredly stronger, don't confront them head-on immediately. Adopt a more reserved posture. Let them reveal their strategies and overestimate their own positions. When information gathering is a priority, if you need to discover secret plans, unspoken opinions, or vulnerabilities, your harmlessness is your greatest asset. People confess secrets to the priest, not the general. Modulate your projection. Like a dimmer switch, adjust the intensity of your presence. In some meetings, be participative. In others, be quieter and more observant, letting others shine and in the process expose themselves. The main pitfall is becoming genuinely passive or invisible to the point of being completely forgotten or dismissed. The zone of underestimation is a temporary tactical state, not a permanent address. Another risk is being misinterpreted as disinterested or apathetic, which can close doors. Maintain a minimum level of engagement and never let the perception of weakness affect your self-image and your action when the right time comes. The third strategy is the culmination of the previous ones, the silent strike. After cultivating underestimation, operating in the gray zone of others' perception, gathering your intelligence, the time comes to act. This is the point where false weakness converts into a surprising and decisive victory. The power of the silent strike lies in the element of surprise, multiplied by low expectation. Your adversaries or competitors not only didn't expect your action, but they also didn't believe you were capable of it. This creates a cognitive shock, an imbalance that prevents them from reacting effectively. They prepared defenses for lions, not for the cunning of the fox gumeg that emerges from nowhere. In the theater of power, sometimes the most impactful role is that of the supporting character no one expects. How to apply this? Accumulate resources. In secret, while others ignore you, you are working, learning, building discrete alliances, preparing your move. Identify kairos, the opportune moment. It's not just about acting, but about acting at the exact instant your action will have maximum impact and meet the least resistance. This requires patience and keen observation. Act with precision and decision. When the moment comes, your strike must be swift, focused, and if possible, irrefutable. No prior fanfare, no hesitation. Surprise is your ally. Consolidate victory discreetly. After the strike, avoid triumphalism. Depending on the situation, it might even be advantageous to let others take some of the credit or return to a more discreet posture, preserving your ability to use this strategy again. The fatal error here is precipitation or hesitation. Acting too early, before having enough information or before the opponent completely lowers their guard, nullifies the advantage. Acting too late can mean missing the window of opportunity. Another pitfall is underestimating others' reaction after the strike. Be prepared for the consequences, as the perception of you will change instantly. And finally, don't get drunk on success to the point of becoming the new visible target. So let's revisit the arsenal you've just acquired. We've seen the perception paradox, how being underestimated can be an advantage. We've mastered the art of playing the fool to disarm and gather information. We've learned to identify and operate in the zone of underestimation, to observe and prepare the ground. And finally, we understood how to execute the silent strike to transform underestimation into surprising victories. Machiavelli teaches us that power is a complex game of appearances and realities. True strength lies not in how much noise you make, but in how well you understand human nature and how you shape perceptions in your favor. False weakness is not about being dishonest for its own sake. It's about being strategic in a world that often judges a book by its cover. It's recognizing that sometimes silence is more eloquent than a shout, and invisibility, the prelude to the most impactful of presences. Remember the fox and the lion. Supreme power lies in knowing when to be one or the other. True strength doesn't scream. It observes, calculates, and acts at the precise moment. Your challenge for this week is this: identify one situation, just one, where you would normally feel the need to assert yourself, to show your strength or knowledge immediately. Instead, practice tactical retreat. Observe. Ask naive questions. Let others underestimate your understanding for a moment. See what happens. See what you learn. This is the first step to mastering this art. When was a time that being underestimated gave you an unexpected advantage? Or which of these strategies resonated most with you? Share your experience or your reflection in the comments below. The collective wisdom here is powerful. And if you wish to continue honing your mind and your strategic arsenal, don't forget to subscribe to Mind and Mettle and activate notifications. We have much more to come on navigating the complexities of power and influence. Let them underestimate you. It's their first mistake and your first advantage. Until next time.